Om Sadashivasamārambhām Shankarācharyamध्यamām Asmadācharyapāryantāम् Vande Guru Paramparaṁ. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Virjam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedais Sangapadakramopaniषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः. देवाय तस्मै नमः. Okay, from 7 onwards. अमानित्वमदम्भित्वम्
अमानित्वमदम्भित्वम्
अहिंसा क्षान्तिरार्जवम्
अहिंसा शान्तिरार्जवम्
आचार्योपासनं शौचम्
आचार्योपासनं शौचम्
धैर्यमात्मविनिग्रहः
धैर्यमात्मविनिग्रहः
इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम्
इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम्
अनहङ्कार एव च
अनहङ्कार एव च
जन्म मृत्युजरा व्याधि दुःखदोषानुदर्शनम्
जन्म मृत्युजरा व्याधि दुःखदोषानुदर्शनम्
असक्तिरनभिष्वङ्गः
असक्तिरणभिष्वङ्गः
पुत्रदारगृहादिषु
पुत्रधारगृहादिषु
नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम्
नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम्
इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु
इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु
मयि चानन्ययोगेन
मयि चानन्ययोगेन
भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी
भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी
विविक्तदेशसेवित्वम्
विविक्तदेवसेवित्वम्
विविक्तदेशसेवित्वम्
विविक्तदेशसेवित्वम्
अरतिर्जनसंसदि
रतिर्जनसंसदि
अध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वम्
अध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वम्
तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम्
तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम्
एतज्ज्ञानमिति प्रोक्तम्
एतज्ज्ञानमिति प्रोक्तम्
अज्ञानं यदतोऽन्यथा.
अज्ञानं यदनोऽन्यथा.
Okay. The last shloka, etad jnanam iti proktam. The last we chanted just now. Etad jnanam iti proktam. Whatever I told you from the 7th shloka onwards, etad jnanam iti proktam. Krishna is going to say later. This, you can call this as jnanam. He's going to say. Jnanam is knowledge. Really speaking, it's not knowledge. It's not Atma Vidya. No. But it's so important. Values are so important. That is the difference between this, what we are talking now, and any other subject that we have ever studied or heard of. And what is the difference? The difference is nobody else will ask you for they'll ask you for your resume, but they will never ask you, do you have amanitvam? Do you have adammitvam? Are you conceited? Are you compassionate? Are you this? Are you that? No, you don't have to say all that. Although in some of the things we say, like charitable activities, I've been involved in so and so things. They say, okay, not bad. This guy is not is done things for the society. Like that, they get an idea. But they can't hold you for it. But some jobs may require you to be compassionate. You know, a job as a nurse, for example, in the hospital, requires a lot of compassion. And so not anybody can be a nurse, right? So, but here, Krishna is crystal clear. These qualities have to be there. There is no exception. There is no shortcut to Brahma Vidya. I can figure it out. Nayam. Naisha Tarkena Matirapane. I'm a very smart guy and I can figure it all out. That won't work. That is what Krishna is saying here by saying all these things. So we saw Amanitvam, Adambitvam, Ahimsa. Ahimsa. So our Mahatma Gandhi ji is popular in this world because of this Ahimsa and non-violence, etc. He won the. And there is that thing everybody knows. And but one thing he said that I remember that I agree with, and that is other things, some things I don't agree with, but some things, this thing he said, a country can be judged by the way it treats its old people and animals. Okay, look at that. Look at the way he said it out. Because, okay, animals can't speak up. Therefore, they will put up with whatever we do. And just because they don't speak up doesn't mean they don't suffer. Therefore, he put animals. He said, hey, only a person who is sensitive to the suffering of animals can really be called a great person. Okay. So animals. Next, old people. Old people means what? After 70, after retirement is over. Children are gone. Now they are by themselves. And guess what? They can become unwanted. They can feel unwanted. You know why? Children themselves don't seem to want the parents. Old parents, okay, young parents they want, but parents who are no longer earning for me, right? And they are more a burden for me. They look at all these thoughts. Everything is stacking up against these old people, correct? It's all stacking up slowly every year after year. And so we will just put them somewhere in one corner in an old age home. And and that's over. Somebody will take care of them. Who will take care of them? Nobody can take care of them. They will provide some food and all. That's about it. But real taking care cannot happen. Therefore, this Mahatma Gandhi, old people, a country can be judged by how they take care of old. I agree with that statement. And so that sensitivity is called for in that ahimsa. And animals, this so-called vegetarianism, the birthplace of vegetarianism is India. Nowhere else. Or any other thinking tribal religions also. Okay, I'm not saying we have to take credit for all. But only a sensitive people can really appreciate vegetarianism. Otherwise, they can't. That is why the British, when they came to India, they realized, okay, these people, they revere animals, they're all vegetarians and this and that. Yeah, meat consumption is there. Kshatriyas had meat and all. That's all fine. Right? There is a reason for that. But primarily, it's a ahimsa based culture. Therefore, if I make them eat beef, I can break the backbone of this country. And he established the first slaughterhouse in Calcutta in 1760 or 80 or something like that. Slaughterhouse in Calcutta, cow slaughterhouse. Imagine in a country called India. Okay, he knew this culture much better than all of us, and Then they did some things. They reinterpreted Vedas and tried to convince people that, oh, the Vedas also promoted beef eating and this and that. And the rest is history. Anyway, so that ahimsa, paramodharmaha, and we saw that Arjavam. That's the next one we need to look at. Shanti also we saw. Shanti is what? Accommodation. Accommodation. Shanti is not putting up with people. Okay, putting up with people, we may have to do that. But putting up with people has a negative connotation. What is the negative connotation? I have no choice. Therefore, I have to put up with people. That's how it starts. But eventually, prasada buddhi takes over. And then I'm fine. Yeah, that's okay. That's how it is. These people are like that. And so that's how it is. It's not, not the only one who's putting up with people. And everybody has to put up with people. And because people, we are not isolated beings. Everybody has people around them. And no, this is how life is. And so I'm fine having all such people around me. I'm fine means what? I'm not, I've learned how to accept people as they are. Puja Swamiji's famous statement. I am free only to the extent I allow others to be who they are. Correct? That's the only extent I am free. Otherwise, I am bound. Automatically, I am bound. And so my whole life, Swamiji says, because everybody comes to him, and then they're telling 70 years, they're all coming. My husband is never like this. My wife is always, I tell her, she doesn't do. This is what they complain to Swamiji. Poor Swamiji has to listen to all these things. And they are complaining about each other. So Swamiji says, 50 years after marriage have gone, and each person is trying to change the other person. Where is this? Where is the time for Shastram and all? There is no time for Shastram. They're still trying to change. A little hope is there. I think this year I'm going to make sure he will change. He will change. Swamiji says, nobody can change another person. I'm positive. He's famous. He said, Krishna also tried to change. Tried to change Duryodhana. But Duryodhana said, buzz off. Who are you to change me? Who are you to tell me all this? So no way, no, God also cannot change a person. But then if a person decides to change himself or herself, then God also cannot stop that person. Correct? That's the beauty. That's the beauty of the Shastra. Okay. So this is how it is. This is Kshanti. Then we are moving to the value called Arjavam, which is the last word in the first line of Shloka number 7. Arjavam. Rijubhavam. Rijubhavam is Arjavam. Straightness. Straightness of thought, words, and deed. It's all in a straight line. You take a ruler and put it, and it should all be in a straight line. What I say is what I think. What I do is what I say. And what I think is what I say. Everything is aligned. Everything is aligned. There is no, this akada, vakada. There is no, this vakram is not there. बोलते हैं ना akada, vakada, something like that they say. The vakada business is not there. No crookedness. It's straight. And promises are made, words are kept. And if words are unable to be kept, immediately come back and say, no, I'm unable to do it. Correct? Be upfront. Be upfront. This is what I promised to do, but I'm not able to keep up my word. Can I do anything to make up for a promise I made that I can't keep? Okay, that's the right way to follow through. And so manasyekam, vachasyekam, karmanyekam, mahatmanam. This slokam says, the one who has the same thing in the mind and the words and actions is a Mahatma. The Mahatma. And then what about the other people? Manasyanyat, vachasyanyat, karman ni anyat. All three different things are going on. There is no consonance at all. There is no congruence at all between thought, word, and deed. And that person, Duratmana, person is called a Duratma. Like that it said in this shloka, a different shloka. So this is an important value for Veda, for us in general, and for Vedanta students, no doubt. And because it gives direction to us. And we have to, there are too many barriers to the study of Vedanta. And we definitely don't want this adharma. It will be tantamount to adharma. If I say one thing and do something else, then this Vedanta study and all is useless. And so watch your thoughts because they become your words. Choose your words because they become your actions. Okay. And understand your actions because they become your habits. Study your habits because they become your character. Develop your character because it becomes your destiny. So I like that very much. And so uh, there has to be alignment in all these things. And that's why people who are like that, you can trust them. You can trust them. Life can move forward freely. Life can move forward. Otherwise, if nobody can be trusted around us, then life itself becomes very difficult. And so everything has to be. It's like those days we used to have what is called tape recorder, and the tape used to go around the machine. And itself, when it came, it was a great thing for us, and we used to be amazed by it and how you could record also, and all that was fantastic. But then when it's all physical, a lot of moving parts are there. All the moving parts have to be aligned. Otherwise, what happens? Suppose some part there is this cylinder that rotates. There is a rubber wheel inside, and then there are two, this things rotating. Right, one pulls the other, and if one pulls too hard and this guy doesn't move, the tape will snap. Or if this guy moves but this doesn't move fast, the tape will just roll inside. We've seen all these problems. And so everything has to be aligned for things to work. And there is a mantra in the Rig Veda. See, every Veda has many Shanti mantras. And there is one Shanti mantra in the Rig Veda. Beautiful mantra. It is called Vang me manasi pratishtita. Mano me vachi pratishtitam. This is how it starts. Vang me manasi pratishtita. Vang means vak. Vach means speech. Vang me manasi pratishtita. Means what? May my words be rooted in my mind. Means what? Hey, let my words not be misaligned with what is there in my mind. And then Upanishad does not seem to be satisfied with that statement. And then it says, Vang me manasi pratishtita, mano me vachi pratishtita. Let the mind also be in consonance with what is being spoken. Because if a promise is made, the mind has to remember the promise and then has to act upon that promise. Okay. Therefore, mind also has to keep in mind what was told. What was told. Therefore, both have to go together. And so, what a mantra it is. Aviravir Maedi Vedasya Mahani Staha. Like that, the mantra goes. But Arjavam, that Arjava Buddhi is there in that mantra also. And that is why our Valmiki Maharshi, Mahakavi, he chose to show Ravana with 10 heads. 10 heads because there is no Arjavam at all. There is no Arjavam. Say one thing, do something else, and then in the morning study Samaveda, in the evening go after other people, chase people. This is what this guy does. And so it's confusing. This guy is a confused person. And so the best way to show the confused person is to show with 10 heads. We shouldn't say, oh, 10 heads. What capacity? Multitasking you can do. These days everybody wants to multitask and do things fast, fast, fast. Efficiency, right? No, no, no. This This guy can't, he may be efficient, but he's confused. Okay. And so Anarjam shown by this Ravana. And then, and so the Satyam Vada, speak the truth is a type of Arjavam. It comes under the category of Arjavam. Speak the truth. Means the life becomes simpler if you speak the truth. And say what it is. That's it. And you also may not like it. They also may not like it. What to do? That is the way things are. And better face it sooner than wait. And so Swamiji was saying, Swami Paramarthananda, it seems there was a time when he was giving public talks and all. And then people were just coming late to classes. Just late means late. And 10 minutes, 15 minutes late and all. And imagine keeping Swamiji waiting, right? And so it seems he said, this is the bad, it's just wrong to do not keep time. This punctuality is gone. People have forgotten the meaning of punctuality, the importance of punctuality. And so he said, no, I'm just not going to come outside. That's it. People can come and listen to me, but I'm not going to go out. Like that, he decided once it was saying. I mean, he does go out these days, but that must have been some decades ago. Okay? And so this Arjavam, he says you can practice Arjavam by doing a simple thing. When you tell somebody, I'm going to come by this time, make sure you go by that time. And if you can't go by that time, call them and tell them that, I'm running late. I can be 15 minutes late, half an hour late, I don't know. But is it all right? Can we meet today, etc. Make sure you inform. This is a great way to practice Arjavam. Like that's how you say. Okay. So Arjavam. So I think you all know the importance of Arjavam. Ruju Bhavam. Ruju Bhavam. Arjavam. Ruju means that straightness is called Ruju. Okay. Then next value. Acharyopasanam. Acharyasya upasanam. Literal meaning, asanam being sitting, presenting oneself. Upa means samipe. Presenting oneself, approaching the teacher. That is a literal meaning. Upasanam means that. One meaning of upasana in this context. Acharya upasana. Being close to the teacher. Being close to the teacher. Literal meaning. We'll discuss. Okay. Or sometimes translated as serving the teacher. Like that is said. Acharya means teacher. So let's first understand what Acharya is. Swayam acharati, anyan acharayati. We saw this before. One who lives the life of the Shastram and also makes the other person the same way through teaching is called an Acharya. Swayam acharati, anyan acharayati. Okay? Is called Acharya. And then there is another definition for Acharya. And the definition is the one who does the Upanayanam Samskara to the one who comes to the Shishya. Upanayanam Samskara, because men and women used to have that Samskara. To qualify to study the Vedas, you need that Samskara. Then teaches the Vedas. And Vedas means what? Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda. Teach that person both Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda. Because both are required. Karma is required for Dhammartha Kama, and Jnanam is required for Moksha, and therefore teaching all of them. Such a person is called an Acharya. Like that, there is a definition given by Manusmriti. Okay? And so, for us, for students, it becomes an important value. Acharyopasana. And for others, it's not that relevant. Only for the one who has a value for a Vedic lifestyle and for a value for moksha, etc. If you go to the West and talk about Acharyopasana, It doesn't. It says, what are you talking about? You know, even you look at the pastors and all that, people who talk in the pulpit, they give all the sermons, etc. Yeah, sure, there is respect for such people, no doubt about that. But Acaryopasanam that we talk about is it's different. It's more than just respect. So, Tadvidhi, fourth chapter we saw this. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Correct? Upadekshanti de jnanam jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. There Krishna had already said, hey, tadvidhi pranipatena and sevaya. Two words are used by Krishna. Pranipata. Pranipata means, Shankaracharya says, dirgha namaskarena. Means do a namaskara first. Start off with a namaskara. Okay? And, and don't forget to do a namaskara. But Pranipata doesn't mean namaskar. Shankaracharya continues because he is not impressed by all this namaskara and all that. And he says, you have to go beyond namaskara. Namaskara is good to do. It's good. You're blessed. If you can do namaskara to somebody, you're blessed because ahankara is sublime. Ahankara. Because ahankara is a barrier to all these things. So that I can just say, salute to somebody and just fall flat is a great thing. And then after that, Shankaracharya says, Pranipata is not that alone. He says, then you have to ask fundamental questions. Viveka Chodamani, he lists all the fundamental questions. Ko nama bandhaha, katamesha agataha, katam pratishtasya, katam vimokshaha, ko savanatma, paramahka atma, tayor vivekaha, katameta uchyatam. Okay, Shankaracharya makes it easy. You don't have to scratch your head. Oh, what are the fundamental questions I should ask? Look up Viveka Chudam. Okay. Ko nama bandhaha. Why? What is this bondage? They talk about bondage all the time. And how did it come about? And how did it stick to me? Katamesha agataha, katam pratishtasya, katam vimokshaha. How can I get out of this bondage? And they say it's been coming with me for janmas. And how can I be free of this bandha, katam vimokshaha. Then what is the anatma and atma? I've been hearing these words, atma and anatma. I need tayor vivekaha, katam. Tell me how I can understand these things. Yetaduchyatam. So, pranipata there is not simply namaskara. Namaskara and be ready for getting something out of the Acharya. What do you want to get from the Acharya? That is critical. That is why Puja Swami, our Swami Paravdhyanandaji will say, once Swami Paravdhyanandaji went to Swamiji, and Swamiji put his hands on his shoulder. Like, he said, I was so happy. And I told Swamiji, today I got Sparsha Diksha. Sparsha Diksha, we have all kinds of Diksha. Naina Diksha, Sparsha Diksha. Swamiji saw me. He saw me for 1 whole minute, he saw me. It's not big things for us. And so Swami said, all this Sparsha Diksha and all will not do you any good. Just come to classes. Okay, this is what he said. So, therefore, this Pranipatena, there he said that. Okay, Sevaya. Sevaya, Shankaracharya says, Guru Sushrushaya. Guru Sushrusha. So, this word Sushrusha is a very important word, right, in our culture. And Sushrusha, the normal Rudi Arthaha of the word Sushrusha, the common meaning of the word Sushrusha is what? Is to do some seva. Whatever the person needs, you do. Make some food, offer food, and make things convenient for the person so that the person can focus on what the person has to do, which is to teach. This is called Sushrusha of an Acharya or a Guru. But the literal meaning of Shushrusha, Rudi Artha, I just told you, common meaning. What is other Artha? Vyutpatti Artha. We are seeing that in Kathopanishad. Vyutpatti Artha is what? Shrotum Ichha. Hey, I've come here to listen to you. I've come here to listen to you. I've come here to listen to the Shastram because Yajnavalkya told Maitreyi, Shrotavyaha, you must listen to the Shastram. That icha, the desire for listening to the Shastram is called Sushrusha. That's the Vyutpatti Arthaha, literal meaning, etymological meaning, Yogika Arthaha. Okay. Shankaracharya doesn't say what. He just says Guru Shushrusaya and then he walks away from there. Okay. So we can use both meanings. Uh, because we do that in our ashrams and all. When we go, we offer our seva. We offer our test, Swamiji, what can I do? Can I have it? Yeah, go to the kitchen and you can help with the cooking and serving people, etc. And there are people washing clothes, etc. All these things are needed. And a person, it helps the teacher do what the teacher is supposed to do. And so that was all said there. Those things can come under Acaryopasanam. But primarily what? Primarily, what does Shankaracharya say? Pariprashnena. Yeah, Pariprashnena. Pranipataha, after the Namaskara, you have to ask all these questions. That he said, right? Katam Bandhaha, Katam Mokshaha, Ityadi. Ka Vidya. What is this Vidya? Brahma Vidya means what? Tell me. I want to know. Okay. So, that's why this Acharya Upasanam is mentioned. Now, having said that, this subject is unique. It is so unique, you can't even call it a subject. The minute you call it subject, then it becomes optional like every other subject. So we don't call it subject or not. Karma versus jnana. Entire life, I'm very good at doing something to get something. I want money, I know how to get money. There are some ways I know how to get money, and there are more ways to get money that I don't know, and I want to learn how to get money that way also. Okay. Okay. And so this is all I know. I want to get something, I need to do something to get something. Do something to get something. I want children. I want my children to do better. So everything is all laid out for me, and this is how my orientation is. The human being's orientation is what? Like that psychologist said. What's his name? Uh, his name is yeah. I'm not getting that person's name. He said what? We are not. We should be called human beings. We should be called human doings because we are only good at doing. We don't know how to be. Okay, we forgotten being completely. A very, very brilliant statement he makes there. So he says, so doing karma, I'm very good at it. But what about jnanam? Jnanam and karma are opposed to each other. Opposed to each other. What karma can accomplish, jnanam cannot accomplish. What jnanam can accomplish, karma cannot. Who is going to say this? Who is going to say all these things? Hey, moksha is in which category? Karma, karma phalam category or jnana, jnana phalam category? Some people say it is in karma category. Some people will say it's in jnanam category. Hey, in Advaita Veda, what do we say? Hey, whatever is in karma phalam is called sadhyam. Karma sadhyam means sadhyam to be accomplished. It's not there now. I need to do A, B, C, D, wait for some time, and then that thing should be accomplished. Okay? Wait for some time. So, for example, we applied for what is called ATG as an organization. I should give you some organizational examples also, periodically. It's called ATG. ATG means what? Donors will get some tax benefit. Donors in India. And so you apply and do everything. And then what? Then you have to wait. You can't contact them. You can't call them and say, what's the status of it? There's no such feature. At least we don't know. We've been having all kinds of meetings. So far, nobody has come up with a way to contact these people. Find out what is the status of our. No, you just have to wait it out. Wait. Kala. Prayatna, Kala. And the third aspect is what? Prayatna, Kala, and Daivam. Daivam. These are the three aspects, right? Required for any sadhya vishaya. Okay, so sadhya. And then there are other set of things which are all siddha vishaya. Siddha vishaya means what? Already accomplished. Already accomplished. Already accomplished But I think it's not accomplished. Is there something like that? Means, yeah, there are many things like that. Many things like that. I'm searching for my car keys. And I'm searching for the last 15 minutes. And somebody said, did you check your pockets? Oh, oh means what? It has got converted from Sadhya Vishaya to what? Siddha Vishaya. Always. All the last 15 minutes, I'm running late for my meeting. Okay. Yeah, you are running late for your meeting. In fact, you're not running. You're late for your, just say I'm late for the meeting. You're not running late. Running people can't be late, right? So, that's what happened. Sadhya Vishaya, all along I thought it's a Sadhya Vishaya, but it's a Siddha Vishaya. Siddha Vishaya means what? Already accomplished. I have my keys. Keys are with me. It is accomplished already. But what stops me? What is standing in between me and the Siddha Vishaya is ignorance. Ignorance, avidya, in this case, ajnana. Okay. And so, moksha falls in which category? Karma and sadhya category, or in jnanam and siddha vishaya category? Who is going to talk about all these things? Who is going to reorient myself? Because karma, for many, many janmas, my orientation is karma, karma phalam. How to, how to get what I want. Matlabi, I have become matlabi in the process. And matlab kya hai? What is in it for me? This is how my orientation is. And now here comes somebody who says it is Siddha. Purnamadaha Purnamidam. Who is going to understand, explain all these things? Okay. So this is a different ball game altogether. And if we're talking about Siddha Vishaya here, and so then comes Shastram. Therefore, no Vedanta Shastram walks in. What can Vedanta Shastram tell me? It can't tell me to do karma because this moksha is not sadhya vishaya. Therefore, what can it do? It can only tell me who I am. Therefore, we say Vedanta is a mirror of words. Just like a mirror, what mirror does to you? Nothing. It can't do anything. It only reflects who I am. And I can check myself up. Vedanta is a word of mirrors, or rather, mirror of words. Mirror of words. It only tells me who I am. Who's going to tell me that? Because my orientation is very different. Okay. Therefore, Vedanta Shastram is called Pramanam. Pramanam means what? Just like the eyes are there, eyes are a Pramanam for me, ears are a Pramanam for me. Means what? It will tell me things exactly as they are. The eyes will tell me exactly what is out there. Okay. Exactly what is out there. I can't decide what I'm going to see in front of me. Correct? If somebody says, look, there's a rainbow, I have to turn my head towards that. That is my job. Okay, eyes can't turn itself. I have my job. Once the head is turned this way, then what the eyes are going to see, who decides? Whatever is out there only decides what I'm going to see. So pramanam, correct? Pramanam will only reveal what is the prameya. I don't have any. My free will has no role in the operation of the pramanam. Correct? Therefore, what free will can I have in deciding who I am? Who am I? Who am I? Only Shastram can say who I am because I don't know who I am. Number one. I think I know who I am, but Shastram says, no, you really don't know who you are. It's very confusing. Yeah, correct. Correct. Exactly. So who's going to remove that confusion? Okay. Who's going to remove this confusion? Who's going to say Pramanam is a mirror of words? Who's going to say, hey, my dear friend, Kartrutvam is there, free will is there. In karma, free will has to be used. If only free will creates karma, I have to decide what to do, what not to do, how long to do. Everything only I have to decide. That is where free will is used. What about jnanam? What about the use of this pramanam like ears and eyes? What free will is there to use? There is no free will. Correct? Free will has no role to play in the even in the use of these pramanams. I mean, the five sense organs. That is why when you come to Coimbatore to see me, and then we were there, and suddenly you see, was that a peacock? Yes, that was a peacock. Sometimes a peacock, you will see a peacock flying right in front of you. Yes, correct. Then you go around and you say, I saw a peacock flying. Guess what? Guess what? Free will was involved for you. You exerted free will to come to Coimbatore to see me. You didn't come to see peacocks, I hope. Okay. But then you saw peacock. What free will you used to see the peacock? You didn't come to see peacocks. You didn't expect to see peacocks. How can you say I saw peacock? Guess what? No free will was involved in seeing peacock. Peacock happened to be there in the line of sight. And the eyes cannot but show you what is there in the line of sight. Your mind was ready to accept, and it was there. And then the eyes showed you an object, and then you say, I saw a peacock. No, a peacock was seen. There is no kartrutvam. You really can't say, I saw a peacock. Means there is no kartrutvam involved. You can say, I saw a peacock, nothing wrong with it, but no agency is involved. No free will is involved in that. Who's going to say all these things? Okay. No free will is involved. Even for things we see, okay? Even for things. And so, for the eyes itself, it's like this. What to talk of the Shastra Pramanam? Free will become a barrier when we operate the Shastra Pramanam. Correct? It becomes a barrier. Why? Because I'm going to project what I know on the words of the Shastra. I'm going to project all my insecurities and all my confusions on the Shastra Pramanam. And then I'll interpret the words in my own way. The teacher has to say, relax. In this class, please relax. Just listen. They say, just listen. Why Shravanam is the main pramanam for us? This is the reason. Relax. Relax means what? Don't bring your ideas into the table. I don't want to hear your ideas. I'm here to tell you something so different that your ideas are of no use. Correct? Who is going to say all these things? Your ideas are of no use. Okay? All your ideas are wrong. I am dash. Anything you say, fill up the blanks. Anything you say is going to be wrong. Correct? It's going to be wrong. And so you just have to relax. Means what? You just have to keep your ears open and then allow the pramanam to operate. The Acharya is not going to say anything different from what the Shastram has. That is why even Krishna had to admit that Imam Vivaspate Yogam Proktavan Aham Adhyayam. Hey, what I'm going to tell you is nothing new. This is not version 2 of the Shastram. It is the same thing that I told that Vivaswan son. Surya Bhagavan also, I told the same thing. I'm going to tell you the same thing. Nothing. Same old thing is going to come. So the Acharya is going to say, relax. Relax, because I'm this insecure person is sitting. And the Shastram is supposed to say that you are essentially the source of security. Where is the connection between I am insecure and I am the source of security? Please tell me. What is the connection? Contradictory. Everything is going to be contradictory. Okay. Mastani sarva bhutani nachaham teshu avastitaha. The entire world is in me, Arjuna. Next sentence. Nacha mastani bhutani. The world is not in me. How are we going to understand this? Which book is going to reveal the contradictions? One after the other contradictions are going to come. Okay, like this, Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutanam. Tasyam jagrati samyami, yasyam jagrati bhutani, sa nisha pashyato munehe. Chapter 2. That which people call as daylight or day or brightness, the wise person calls as night. And that which the people call as night, the wise people think is day. What kind of statements are these things? Is this some? What is this? This is all very confusing. Yes, that is how the Shastra will be. It is all opposites. Sadhya to Siddha, onwards, everything is opposite. Limited to unlimited, all opposite. How are we going to reconcile all these things? Either it's all totally wrong or there is something right about all these things. Okay. And Kenopanishad, Yadi manyase suvedeti. If you think that you know Atma, you really don't know Atma. Yadi manyase suvedeti, no navedeti vedacha. If you say I know it, you really don't know it. You know why he says that? Who's going to explain all these things? A, our idea of knowing is all knowing things, knowing objects, various things in this world. Even psychology is knowing the operating, how the mind operates. That also is knowing only, knowing an object. Knowing everything, knowing anatma. Anything I know is anatma knowing. What about knowing atma, knowing the subject? Subject cannot be objectified, my dear friend. That is why this teacher says that. If you think Atma has become an object of your knowledge, then you don't know it. That is why later on the student says, Naham manye suvedeti. No, I don't consider that I know Atma. But then manye viditam. I consider Atma to be understood. Like that he says. Okay, in passive voice he says. And so who's going to explain all these things? Full of contradictions. Okay. And if I read a book full of contradictions, what will happen? It takes a lot. It takes a lot. And so, Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam. Gunakarma Vibhakashaha. I created Chaturvarnyam. 4 Varnas I created. Maya Srishtam. Gunakarma Vibhagashaha. Tasya Kartaram Apimam. I am the creator of that. Vidhi Akartar Cha Avyayam. And know that I am not the creator also. The average person will just say, this is, it's like pulling hair. And I want to, it's like that. That's what they will say. But dear friends, it's, that's the joy of this subject also. And so, therefore, with so many contradictions coming into to us periodically, we need somebody who can unlock the Shastram. And therefore, Acaryopasanam becomes a very important value. Okay. Even to say, look at this. You turned around, you saw the roads were wet. That means what? It's sunny, but the roads are wet. Then he said, oh, during this class, it must have rained. Even here, Kartrutvam is not involved. Why it's not involved? What choice do you have? Tell me. Kartrutvam involved means you must have choice. What choice is there in making this conclusion? The conclusion automatically happens whether you like it or not. Why? Because the data is there. You don't have choice in the data that you collected. And then in the law, what is the law? The law is if the roads are wet, either the state must have, the city must have done all these things, washed the road, or it must have rained. These are the only two possibilities. Okay. And so that law also, therefore you can't not make a conclusion like that. So free will is not involved even here. Okay. Even in this Anumana, it's not involved. Inference. Okay. And therefore, for this subject, Shraddha has to be cultivated. Shraddha is a very important thing. Why Shraddha? Because a lot of contradictions coming my way. And I have to have Shraddha. I have to have the attitude. What is Shraddha? Guru Vedanta Vakyeshu Satya Buddhihi or Vishwasaha. What the Guru is telling is correct. Even though I don't understand many of the things, it has to be correct. That Buddhi is called Shraddha. That is why Krishna says Shraddhavan Labhate Jnanam. Why Shraddha is needed? Do I need Shraddha for all the other things? No, I don't need Shraddha when I go to college or take some workshop. What Shraddha is there? Need Shraddha is needed. Okay, I'm going to pay a lot of money for this course and I hope I will get the value for the money, right? That's what they say. Value for okay. Many people, this guy has been around, he's been teaching for a while. So okay, I think I can, I think this is a good course. I think it's worth plowing in some 10,000 rupees for this course or 3,000. Those days, I remember my company used to pay my fees to go to some all these workshops and all, 2,000, $3,000 and all they used to pay. Company used to pay all this. And so we do all this. So a little bit of Shraddha is needed. That okay, is this a good investment? That's all. After that, you don't need Shraddha. Everything happens. But here, Shraddha, all the way Shraddha, class after class, Shraddha is needed. Because it's going to become a life pursuit. So Shraddha is so important. I surrender myself to the words of the Shastra. This is where surrender comes, right? Surrender. Why? Because I have no choice. I have no choice. Because something new is happening here. New topic is talked about which I know nothing. I know so much about life and so much about. I'm an expert in so many subjects, but none of that is useful here. Correct? None of that is useful here. That is why Swami once told me. He told me. He told me this. I'm fine with sharing all these things with you as nothing to hide. He said, Jaykumar, I saw the announcement for this Kathopanishad course. Why did you say things like you are from IIT? And he asked me that question. What has I going to IIT got to do with this Vedanta? Correct. That's it. I didn't have any answer. I didn't have any answer. This is because it's not part of the Adhikarit. Vivekam, Vairagyam, etc. Shamadamadi is there. It doesn't say you have to go to a good grades you must get from a good school. No, it doesn't say all that. Doesn't matter. In fact, it says Naisha Tarkena Matirapaneya. Your intellect, sharp intellect will not help. Yama has already said that to Nachiketa. All that will not help. Therefore, this Acaryopasanam becomes very important. Shraddha becomes very important. Shraddha needs to be cultivated. Swamiji says Shraddha is very difficult. Especially for we Indians, we're coming after the post-colonization Indians, Shraddha is very difficult because they figured it out. They said, if I snap this fellow's connection with the Vedas, he will become mine. Fantastic formula these guys figured out and it worked also. And therefore, we are constantly just floating around with no, neither here nor there. I can't go there completely because I don't look like them. Everything about me is different from them. And I can't be here also because I don't know Sanskrit onwards, nothing I know. I can't connect also. All my traditions all gone. And so it's a challenge for Indians in general, I mean. And so that, therefore Shraddha is needed in this Veda Pramanam, Vedanta Pramanam. Lot of Shraddha is needed. That's why from a young age that Shraddha is cultivated. Namaskaram Kuru, Namaskar Karo, Karo. To keep on doing Namaskara to elders. Good habit. Very good habit. I met people who told me, no, I will not do Namaskara to a human being. Like that somebody said. And it struck me like that, like a shock. I said, wow, an Indian can say something like this. It is absolutely shocking to me. Indian, okay, Indian. I'm not expecting anything big from others, okay. And so because that's a culture we grew in, and so this kind of Shraddha being difficult to get, this Acharyopasana makes it easy for me to gain that Shraddha. Okay. So that I trust at least one person in my life I can trust completely. Yeah, the trust can be violated. Wherever there is trust violation can happen. Correct? Trust can be abused. Yes, it's possible. But trust is essential. That's why marriage, two people come in trust, 100% trust. And with a prayer that the trust will not be violated. Big prayer, everyday prayer. Trust will not be violated. That's why the big ceremony. Big ceremony. Maitri Bhavam. Okay. The Homam, it's all Maitri Bhavam. Friendship, may they come together as friends. That is how this whole marriage ceremony lies on. Friendship. Not the one person being bigger than other and all, doesn't talk about. Maitri Bhavam. It's absolutely amazing. Someday, if I have time, I'll talk to you about this. This Sakya Homa, it's called. Sakya Homa means what? A Homa of friendship. Homa that consolidates and worships friendship. That's what it is. And so, trust. Here also, that trust is important. Okay? And so, with all that being said, we appreciate the need for Acharya Upasanam. Many facets of Acharya Upasanam we saw today. And not simply saying respect to the teacher, surrender to the words of the teacher. All that is fine, but I wanted to explain to you why. Why that is essential. Because of all the contradictions that are there. And how am I going to deal with statements like you are the whole? That's going to come later. You are the cause of the world. You are the world, okay? You are the cause of the world. What is going on here? How can I be the cause of the world? I'm a victim of the world. If you say, I can accept that. That I shake my head like this. And how to protect myself from being a victim? Yeah, I'm interested in that also. But this language, that is all psychology. That's all some other field. And so, Acharya Upasanam is a very big value for students like us. We'll conclude today with that topic and we'll enter Shaucham in the next. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om